Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello!
It is Pigs Butters here, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. When we left off, there's a lot of chit-chat going on. There were a few mistakes that were made. We had to pull the walk through a couple times.
Yes.
But you know, we're kind of getting the hang of this, and we're getting around to all the mysteries of all of this case and all the blue badger family badgers going on around this park, and that. It turns out that Lance might have been the other bad badger trying to... my assumption, I didn't think of it at the time, but I think as I was thinking
He keeps peeking like...
He does.
He's such a faker.
I think my thought here of what happened is that... I thought of it after recording, so I couldn't say it last time. But I think what happened is that Lance probably killed the father, and he was like... Oh no, what have I done? And so he had to fake her father's death to make her believe that she had killed her father. So he went over there with the blank gun that he gave to her and essentially made her shoot him and then faked his death so that she would believe that she shot her father. And then as soon as he got a chance to, you know, he would put everything back in its place.
Huh.
So the father's probably already dead by the time that he was in the other bad badger head. So that's my thought on this. But let's go ahead and let the game proceed and see how accurate that is.
What a not nice person.
Apparently not. Good first line. You say what I think you are. That Lance Amano donned the bad badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon.
That's exactly what you just said.
On top of which he's planning to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing. The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder.
Yep, that's exactly what you just said.
Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim, it was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about, little boy.
Little boy.
Why exactly do I have to do that, huh? There's but one reason, Lance Amano. You were the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What?
No!
That's slander. You take it back. You take it back right now. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do? What does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Ms. Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand.
Oh yeah.
Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing.
I knew he was
and
gonna say that.
besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the proto-badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right? Of course. Logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us.
Yeah.
But I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly.
Yep.
And this should be all the evidence you need. This is an easy one. I don't care how small that bar is up there.
Yeah, finally the gun.
Finally,
yeah, we're
on the right track.
We were way ahead of ourselves.
We're just too smart for this game, okay? That's our excuse, is that we're too intelligent for this game to handle. We're too many steps ahead of them.
We are usually quite a few steps ahead in a lot of cases.
We are. And then sometimes we're way the fuck off.
Yeah. But in this case, we were ahead.
We're doing fine. We found one half of the Bad Badger costume in the hideout. A broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks. What?
Yep. Yep.
Miss Pops, where is the gun you use now?
I threw it away into the sea.
That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume it was a model gun in question. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right.
Dang it, Pops!
However, I can say that the probability that I'm right is very high. Okay, let's pretend you're right and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. I knew we were full of it.
Just because we don't know yet doesn't mean we're wrong.
However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame.
Yep. Please wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance.
She saw the victim in a state of being restrained? Let's hear what you have to say.
I came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance has already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. I had tied Mr. Deacon securely into the beam in the room on the next.
In next door.
You skipped too
Sorry.
fast.
I didn't expect you to trip. My bad.
Always expect me to trip, dog. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape.
Excuse me. I was in the room. Well, actually, that could have been beforehand. I don't know. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two you left, right?
Ooh, yawn.
Oh, goodness.
We thought it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone.
All of them managed to escape. It looked as he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pops saw the victim with her own eyes, which means that the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. I was like, just because he's tied up doesn't mean he's alive. He could have been a dead body tied up in the corner.
Oh, God.
Came back to the hideout line for the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. This is the big one.
Yeah.
You were sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw?
Yes, I'm certain of what I saw.
Did you go into the other room to check?
Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul. Oh my God,
And
girl.
You're telling me that you did not confirm there was Mr. Deacon for yourself?
I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure that it had to be Mr. Deacon.
Well, that changes it that she saw a bad badger head.
Really?
Okay, they even added testimony for us, so
Yeah.
that's definitely gonna be. I'll go and press that quick and see if there's anything else to it, because sometimes you gotta press for it. So the tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his bad badger costume.
And how do you know he was alive? Yes, and
It would appear that she misread the whole situation. What now? Should I raise an objection? Raise an objection!
yes, always.
The person you saw was not the victim.
What? Why not?
I will tell you why not. With this, Miss Pop shows that the person you saw was not the victim.
Oh, not the victim.
So, we've got the bad badger's head. This is up in the isolation room, which was ours. Huh. Okay. I want to make sure I get this right. Because, I mean, there's... Huh. Okay. Okay. I mean, we can present the bad badger's head, but I don't think that really states anything too much, because this was the spare head that was in the room, and he could have still had it, I guess. But
Ugh, and we cannot afford to keep.
The question is, because I mean, the only other thing I can think of would be the victim's costume, but it doesn't state anything obligatory about the bad badger thing involving that at all. I'm gonna go for it. Yes, okay, we're good. Okay. Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. It was me.
Huh?
The person you actually saw was this person. It was me.
Yeah.
It was
Because
me.
he was tied to the the thing.
It was me.
Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth?
I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I had handed over the ransom?
Oh, he's sweating.
It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time.
Yep.
Well, Lance, am I right?
That's.
You showed Miss Pops a person named
That's-
me with a bad badger head on, and then made your costume to escape together. Or so you pretended.
Huh? What do you mean he pretended?
Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the bad badger head from my unconscious self.
Oh.
And to create his fake prison with
That
a chopped sword.
transition.
He then escaped via the passageway.
He's like, it looks like he's hiding
him.
behind.
He's just hiding, tucking on his shoulder like, protect me, please. Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All of that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right. You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would have still seen me tied to that beam.
I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth.
You see, it would seem that you can't prove a thing.
Oh.
Who said that?
Oh.
I gotta get back into this because it's been a while since I've actually.
Southern willpowers.
Please, wait. Mr. Romano. Miles, my boy, looks like you really giving it your all. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad? Let's see, you're the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sure my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you.
Ooh.
Oh, you do now.
That guy just walks
And he just
away.
creeps away. Is that what I think it is?
Whoa.
Okay, let's okay, we'll get it with it. Well, this is you in that line, actually.
It's a bad badger costume the victim was wearing, and a gun.
Wait,
Ernest,
Ernest, he's the dad, right?
Wait around for the,
I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Is there no one in this country actually obeys the law? There now. Agent
Hey, whoa.
please,
hey.
calm down. Hey, whoa, hey, whoa, hey. Please calm down. Huh? The heck is that scrap of paper?
This appears to be a letter from the chief of police. Please allow Mr. Romano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says.
What? The chief of police? What the? Just who does he think he is?
The person who wields the highest authority in this area.
Oh, there now. There is no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land.
Wasn't the chief of police at this time Gant? Was he the chief of police?
No,
Chief of police is Doug Dimmadome.
Doug Dimmadome.
Who was Gant? I know he was high up. What?
I can't remember his exact
What was he
position.
again?
I'm sure someone will tell us in the comments.
Yeah, it's been so long.
So I'm not bound by laws of your country. Now. This wasn't meant for strong arm you and anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. Duh. Can't really say no to that. Have a return to the topic at hand. It doesn't matter who found the evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Alright, now let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back.
Oh.
I had a special forensic research lab that I'm on good terms with with. Oh, okay, that makes sense now.
And I'm on good terms with conducted tests.
That. They verified that the blood on this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Norn. But what?
Oh.
You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around.
Huh.
That's it? Is the case making pieces of evidence? Huh, I'll be the judge of that.
No, I am. Let me see this. Oh, yes.
Oh God! All right, let's.
I'm just like he's just walking around the park.
This is my day off.
Head doesn't
Here with
matter.
my grandchild.
That'd be great if we could see the judge in there somewhere.
Oh my gosh!
All right,
Yeah.
there's something in the helmet first. So this is like there's something inside the costume's head.
Hey, that sparkle! I bet they're really valuable.
Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in here? There's a broken mirror in the room.
There is.
Let's keep that in mind. So we got this gun over here. They don't. Oh, that gun doesn't matter. There's nothing to see here. How about this gun? Would this gun be the actual murder weapon? Revolver. Another piece of evidence. God damn. And then
The bullet hole.
Now, the one thing to note is that even though there's a bullet hole here, there's no blood. There's no blood.
Well, it did kind of. It took a dip in the ocean.
Blood stains. Water ain't gonna do justice on that.
It's salt water. Maybe that's different. I don't know.
This bullet hole.
Oh,
it's a close range.
it looks kind of burnt around the edges.
one. Wait, those burns were left by the gunpowder. This is a most important fact.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because it's proof that the victim was shot at point blank range. That is some faked evidence right there.
Yep.
Well, are these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there.
Why do you have a British accent? He's Southern.
I don't know. I'm
Thank
all
you,
over
Dad.
the place. Decisive evidence. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on
There
that
you
murderous
go.
gun.
There,
And they
he's
proved
back.
that it was Lolly who killed Oliver.
He wanted to be Saudmati for a second.
He wants to be all over the place. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. The fingerprints on the weapon, huh?
Oh no, this isn't helpful at all.
Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch as she takes the punishment of her crimes. That may be all you can do, however. I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie.
Yep.
You wound me.
You wound me.
Why won't you believe me even in the face of all this totally unfabricated evidence? How could you?
Evidence.
Don't you bring this evil on me. All right, make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. I mean, and they proved that it was Lolly who killed Oliver.
Don't you bring
It
this
was also
evil
after Lolly's life. You must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. What kind of hit can I get from you? This argument hinges on the fact that her fingerprints are on the gun. However, the truth does not lie there. It lies in wherever he is hiding from me, but not for long. So let's focus on that. Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Pops? There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I had the best forensic techniques money can buy performed. I find that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What should I do?
His
Should I
voice is
raise an
all over the
objection?
place too.
Listen, they're all confusing to me.
Because it's willpower. It's got that deep, and you turned him into Doug Dimmadome again.
Man, frankly, I don't believe that Miss Pop's print should be on that gun to begin with.
Is it just too many Southern accents for you to handle?
Oh, there's too many with very small little tweaks in there. And the reason why Miss Pop's print should not be on the gun is... Well, I mean... Do we have a thing from her? Hang on, let me take a look at the revolver here. Let's see, they found Miss Pop's fingerprints on this gun.
Can you let me hold it for a sec?
I shouldn't if you don't know how to handle it. And besides, Miss Pop's prints are on it.
Look, I'm wearing gloves. It'll be okay. I just want to take a look, that's all. It's not like I'm gonna run off with it. The only things I don't return are treasures.
Stealing either one would land you in jail, you know. Alright, so
She's like, let me see.
Here. So... Because, I mean, the one thing I'm thinking is, was she in...
Wait, could you check the chamber?
I mean, I was looking at it, but I don't think I can check it, because I saw it there, but... Because I saw there was stuff in it, but I can't touch it. It's just the back that I can touch.
I'm like, because like, what if they're blanks or whatever, but...
Yeah, no, that's the real one.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think, was she wearing a costume at the time? I don't remember, but I don't think we have anything that...
Oh, that's right.
Do we have a statement that said that?
Because the simulation said that. Remember?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. It was ripped from the Bad Badger costumes, Game of Fire and Blanks, wearing prop sword, Condevere, the love letter, victim costume. That's the victim's costume. Do we have anything that said that she was wearing her costume? Do we not have anything on that? Because that would be what we would, you know,
maybe
throw out there.
The stolen costumes?
There we go. Yeah,
I was
that is
right.
it.
Haha.
It's simply not possible for Miss Palps to have left any prints on the murder weapon.
Yeah, because she was holding.
Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Palps was wearing a costume. Huh? But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints.
There it is.
Well, Miss Palps, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house.
To retrieve her ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That's when Miss Palps' prints found the right end of the gun. Grrr. Okay, so...
I wonder why he's trying to save his son.
That's a good question. Because
his son basically tried to steal money from him. Like, why is he trying to defend his son?
Is he a part of this? Because I remember I said it I was like, obviously he's in on this with Lauren.
But why would he be in on it if it's his own money?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. But,
no.
But what is his purpose now of trying to protect his son? Does he not believe his son is involved? And he's like, but what?
Maybe.
I don't understand.
Because he's literally holding money.
Or is it some kind of weird money laundering scheme? Is his money dirty money, so he's using his son as a way to get it washed out of the system? I don't know. Do you understand now, Mr. Romano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Palps is the murderer.
Yeah, maybe he just thinks that his son's innocent or something.
And he's just gonna go through the purpose of faking evidence to make sure his son isn't like falsely accused.
I guess.
Maybe we'll find out. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer.
Oh, Lance!
What? No way! I'm incredibly worried about her.
Sure.
But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right?
He's just like, but you don't have anything,
that's
right?
where you're wrong. I have the evidence.
What?
How? The story that Miss Palps killed the victim at the stage in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup.
I love how, like, before they kept going on about how handsome Lance was. He's very underwhelming.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to seeing another hot guy, but they're like, no.
That's
no.
Nope. All right, this proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. And I think that should be the fact that in the victim's costume there was... Well, they changed this one. Because that used to be it, but... Because, I mean, this is the one that used to be there's no blood.
Yeah, the
victim's
victim's costume's been filled in now.
Yeah, because that used to be the part that said there was no blood. There was no blood and all that stuff. But, I've got a chance. One shot. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Let's take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing.
Yes.
Then I believe you'll see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. Oh, plus the proof that it was a close range shot.
Yeah,
which goes against her testimony. This is part of the costume that proves it. And I believe that'll be right where it pretty much put.
Yep.
Come on, I want to be perfect just in case the game wants to be an asinine asshole about it.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
There we go.
Right on the money. The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point blank range.
Ah, so then you mean the murder Miss Oldbag saw at the stadium really was...
Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn.
Nope.
Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is then?
Yeah, that's like the one thing that we don't know.
Yeah, Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that.
Oh yeah, because the mirror shards. The mirror shards in his head.
That's a good point. And the location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was imprisoned was... I've got it. I know where the real scene of the murder. The real location in which Mr. Deacon was killed is here.
The haunted house. Boo, bitch.
I think it's not unreasonable to assume that the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house. Yes, and I have proved that it's highly likely that the victim was killed there. And that would be the now glass shard that we have. The mirror fragments.
Mirror fragments.
These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? What does that have to do with anything? Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of mirror inside a costume.
Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous.
However, there's one piece I can think of
They
where
are
this is
dangerous too.
where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance and Mono, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with a revolver in the haunted house.
What?
They're playing Clue all of a sudden.
What is this? This Clue?
You killed Mr. Deacon in the haunted house with the revolver. Oh my god.
That's totally what they did there.
Apparently.
I'm hoping that's what they did.
After that, you stole the blue bedroom bill to move his body to the Wild Wild West area, with Will Smith playing in the background. The timing of when the blue bedroom bill was stolen confirms this as fact.
Who's Will Smith?
Will Smith, please. Okay. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Romano, but I cannot do that. Be quiet.
No, you.
Yes, please do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense. Ernest Romano, correct? I mean you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you?
He just goes back to Kenny's
The only
wedding.
thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. And to call these mere bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Sheena, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout?
Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house.
You see, isn't it possible that the fragments got on the costume there? But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low. Probability? Lang Z says on Truth's Path, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does is definitive proof. The question, Mr. Prosecutor, is, do you have the definitive proof you need?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you?
Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See? So since you don't have any, shut up.
Rude.
I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at that haunted house besides myself were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder.
What now, Mr. Edgeworth?
Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house.
Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission?
Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted. But you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light.
Yep.
It doesn't matter by who or how it's done as long as it is. Sheena,
I'm here.
put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately.
Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval.
Who was that?
Now, let's hold on for a second. There is no need to obtain approval.
Mr. Romano?
Agent Lang, if you'll please take a look at this.
What is this? Sheena, I can't read English.
It's the deed to the haunted house.
The deed? Does he own the haunted house?
Buy it?
He might have bought it. He is hiding something from us, man.
Yeah.
The deed? Read it out loud.
Gatewater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Romano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full in cash.
I was supposed to be kidding about the money laundering scheme going on here. So we just drop off $1 million at a potential murder site.
We dropped off the $1 million at the haunted house.
Which is then used to buy the
haunted house
for Mr. Amano.
What?
Okay, well, you know
Curse
what?
the cowardly dog noises.
The things I do for crime. All right, well, you know what?
No, the things I do for truth.
The things I do for the truth. Well, you know what?
Oh my god.
Next time, we just gotta see where this rolls. Because you know what? He's probably gonna say, "It's mine now, and you're not going anywhere near there, Jacko."
Apparently.
Yeah, he's not gonna let us in. Are you kidding me?
Something's definitely...
Oh, something's awry, and he's in the nitty gritty of it now.
Something's a rye bread.
We're gonna get to you, man.
Yeah. Chubby earlobe goblin.
Oh my god.